Okay, well, okay, of course, we talked about graphs and writing part in details. Now we're going to have some more maybe exercise in order to assess our understanding from these actually parts, this kind of task. So we're going to talk about writing task again. Writing task 1, okay, you will learn some general tips and some general things about writing task 1, some phrases, some words that you can use in order to write in task 1. And well, ready to start?
Yes.
Let's get started from the beginning. Okay. Well, as you know, as we talked before, there are some verbs, adverbs, and maybe time phrases that normally are used in task 1. You know, it's something like there is a pattern to follow. And if you know this pattern, it will be really easy to write about graphs or charts.
Teacher,
Okay.
what
Yes.
what is the pattern?
Form, shape, shape.
Yeah,
For
okay.
example, it's something like a structure, shape, form.
Yeah.
Okay, now there are some verbs, as you can see, verb, adverb, and time phrases. And now, using the verb to grow and the adverb rapidly, complete the sentences to describe the information in the graphs. Focus on the correct verb tense. So the purpose of having this actually task and this exercise is to get familiar with different tenses that you can use to write graphs. Okay, well, here we have 5 sentences and we need to complete. Just you need to pay attention to the time, period of time, and use the correct tense of verb. For example, the first one, since 5 years ago. So 5 years ago means to present. So we need to use present perfect. Sales have grown rapidly. Now, between, okay,
Yes.
between,
Be, between 1980 and 1990.
okay, 1980 and 1990. Okay, what tense you need to use?
I think that's past tense.
Past and past. Okay, past perfect. So which past continuous? So what? Past.
I think that past simple.
Very good. So you can say between 1980 and 1990, sales.
Between 1980 and 1990, sales 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 um um grew rapidly to no grew considerably
Yeah,
to
grew rapidly. Very good. And number 3, from 2020 to 2030, 2020 to 2030. So one is past, one is future, or
uh
present, future, past, future. Yeah.
I think this is will be a future.
Future.
Yeah.
So
From 2020 to 2030, sales will grow rapidly.
very good. Will grow. Now, there are two actually other phrases that you can use instead of will. Will is correct. As you know, we use will for prediction. But this form is like, we're going to predict something, by 2030. So we can say from 2020 to 2030, sales are predicted.
Yeah.
are predicted to, for example, grow. Okay, I'm writing. What? Why? Oh, are predicted to grow. Let me make it a little smaller, I think. Okay, well, are predicted or are expected. So both of them, or are expected to grow. So
Yeah.
you can use both of them, will, are predicted, or are expected. So in this actually condition, in this form of graph, if you have the same thing, you can use the same structure to make your sentence. And by the year 2000, this is by, when we use by, let me say something. As you know, we need to use perfect form. By, if we have, for example, future, by, for example, 2030. Okay, this is future. By 2000, of course, this is a time in the past. And we are talking about a period of time before 2000. So
I think that's um
we are talking about a time in the past, before another time in the past. Do you remember the tense that we normally use when we want to talk about actions that's happened in the past before another action? Do you remember?
that's perfect.
That's it. So we need to use past perfect. So by the year 2000,
By the year 2000, sales had had grown rapidly to 90,000.
very good, had grown. And now by the year 2020, okay,
And
before 2020. But as you know, 2020 is present, so, or future can be considered that future. So
which one, teacher?
2020, the last one, by the year 2020.
I think still past perfect. Had sales had grown.
No, by the year 2000, 2000 past perfect is okay. But 2020, no. Because as you can see now, this is now, and 2020, this time is in future. So we need to use future, okay?
But now this is 2024.
Okay. To the okay, I know, but we're not talking about real situation. You know, just have a look at these graphs. Look, this is now. And
Yeah.
2020 is actually is placed after now. So we can consider it as future.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
here, yeah, okay, as you can see now, 2000 before now, 1980 before 2000. So it's something that you need to consider, pay attention. So 2020 is future.
By the year 2020, sales will had will had grown rep will
Will
have.
have grown. Very good. As I told you, perfect form. This is future. So will have grown. Very good. Excellent. Okay.
Teacher, I think that I haven't learned about this tense.
Okay, so you haven't. Okay, so we can talk about it. So why not? Okay. Well, just so let's complete this the first page, this one. Let's talk about verbs, and after that I will explain this time in details. Okay. Well, just let's do something, the second part. Make correct sentence, is it okay? An adverb from column 2 and the time phrase. Okay, let's make some sentences. For example, increase slowly by the year 2000. By the year 2000, it had increased slowly to 19%. 90%. Okay, let's make some sentences. For example, the second one.
Um, in, I think by the year 2000,
Yeah.
um, it had increased dramatically.
Hmm. Dramatically. Okay, good. And but it had, you said it had or it decreased, which one? It had, you said it had,
Decreased.
it had, I don't know, I don't like it. It had, no, so it decreased. So why it had, you want to say by the year, just say by the year, which year you said. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the right year correctly. So you want to use past perfect, you mean
Yeah,
by the year 2000. Okay, for 2000 is okay. Yeah,
yeah,
had
yes.
decreased. Well, fall,
For
for example.
remove between no from 1980 to 2000 sales raised sharply.
Yeah, okay. Well, sharply, yeah, increased, yeah.
What
You can say will sharply increase, yeah.
what is consistently?
Consistently, we have consistently, unconsistently. Do you know continuously?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And in chart 4 we can also use consistently, right?
Yeah, consistently, of course. When we say when something continually actually continues in the same way for a long time, we say consistently. When something happens or actually continues unconsistently, we say actually it has a, there can be seen as a change, okay, in a long period of time. So consistently, as you can see, we can use it for this graph, this type of graph, because there is no change, as you can see.
Yeah,
Continuously, we have the same thing, okay?
yeah, yes.
Well, and flying, so something like this.
Teacher, can I have time to take note the word?
Of course, of course. Do you have the book?
Yes, yes.
So just let me write it here, these two words. So consistently, inconsistently. Okay, well, consistently. That stays the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So, and you know, we have dramatically, slowly, sharply, consistently, gradually, steadily. So you can use, you know, the meaning of all adverbs and you know how to use them. So, and you can use them, for example, increase, dramatically increase, you can use them before your verb or sometimes after it. So it's okay. And it depends on the sentence and statement that you are making. Okay, and let's talk about, okay, let's make the last example and then keep going with our new grammar.
Between now and 2020, sales as expected um,
Mhm.
to climb consistently.
Okay, consistently. Okay, wow. So first of all, okay, let's skip this one and move to another topic, that is to talk about time tense, future. Okay, as you know, as you learned before, we have future simple that we normally use it, but we have perfect form of tenses that we can use in different sentences. For example, past perfect, present perfect, and we have future perfect as well. Future perfect simple and future perfect continuous. Now we're going to discuss both of them. Future perfect simple first, and after that future perfect continuous, and the difference between these two tenses. Okay, well, we use future perfect simple, that is will or won't if you want to make negative, and have and past participle to talk about something that will be completed before a specific time in the future. And the sign for this tense is by. By 2030, it means an action will be completed before a time in the future. Okay, so, and what's the formula? That's really easy. So we have will, or if you want to make negative, won't, plus have, plus past participle. Let me change it. Okay, well, so for example, I will have finished cooking by, for example, 1 p.m. Okay, so it means I will finish by, up to, until that time. Okay, so I'll have finished, for example, cooking by, I don't know, by 10 p.m., for example. Okay, so this is about the first one. And as you know, if you want to make question, the only change will be happen on will. Will you have finished? Will you have finished? So you have nothing to do with have and past participle. You only need to replace will and subject. Will you have finished cooking by 10? So will you have finished? Okay, this is about the first one. And we have another form that is future perfect continuous grammar. Okay, so actually continuous form, if you want to talk about structure, they're different because we have will, have, will have been, okay, and ing form, okay? So will have been, and of course we can say present participle. It means ing form of verb, okay? Root and ing. So we can say present perfect continuous, okay? There is something about present perfect simple that you need to know. If you see present, you know, sometimes the use of present perfect continuous, let me write the structure before I start talking about it. Okay. Let me, will plus have plus been plus root plus ing. Okay, so this is the structure that you need to know about present perfect continuous. And we also call it, maybe you hear present perfect, you know, future perfect progressive. So they are the same, okay? And it describes actions that will continue until a point in the future. Okay, will have been, and of course present participle, that is roots and ing. Okay, and sometimes we can use both of them. Sometimes people make mistakes about the using of future perfect simple and future perfect continuous. Okay, and you know, if you want to know the difference, you know, the only difference when we say future perfect simple, it means the action that will complete it by the time in the future. About continuous, this action will be in progress or continue up until a point in the future. Okay, so this is, I can say, the most important. For example, I can say now is January. Okay, I can say, I don't know, in February, for example, a time after this time. Okay, I'm talking about future. I can say, I will have been working, for example, at this organization for 3 years. Okay, for example, by November or in November, you can say both of them. So you can say in November, okay, I will have been walking in this corporation, for example, for 10 years. Okay, as you can see, I'm still walking. It's not finished. I'm still walking, and I say that I have been walking. This is about present, future perfect continuous. And of course, there are some other. For example, at 5 o'clock, now is, for example, I don't know, now is 4:30. Okay, now is 4:30. And when I say at 5 o'clock, I'll have been waiting for you for 30 minutes. Now up to 30 minutes. So I will have been waiting for you. Get it?
Yes.
Or for example, when I turn, for example, 40, I will have been playing the piano for 10 years. So this is about future perfect continuous. Get it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, now let's move on our topic again. Okay, well, task one, as you can see, task achievement, or TA, is the mark you get for how well you answer the question in task one. And there are a number of mistakes that, you know, prevent candidates from getting a high score in task one, or getting high score in TA. For example, as I told you, the most important part in writing task 1 is overview. So that's really important how to write it. And misreporting data, it means, sometimes you report, but you don't report it completely, or
Yeah.
maybe by mistake. So it can cause you lose your score. And you need to highlight key information, especially in your overview. If you don't highlight key information, you will lose your score. If you don't explain enough, of course, or don't explain data enough, you will lose your score. And if you give your opinion, that is, I think, the worst thing that one person can do while writing task 1. So if you add your opinion, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And of course, the language of writing is really important, formal writing. So we don't use some informal phrases, statement in order to write. Writing task 1, especially, this is academic, so should be educational, and we need to use an appropriate tone, so that is really important. If you write fewer than 150 words, you will lose your score. And there is something about summary, as I told you before. When we say summary, it's different from the summary that we have in task 2, okay, or writing general. In task 1, as I told you, we have 4 paragraphs, okay, but you can write like introduction, main body, overview, and an overview can include maybe some information like summary of main points, but if don't, you can actually summarize the main points that you mentioned in your main body, in your last main body, the second main body, maybe for 1 or 2 lines, okay? But we don't have a separate another paragraph as conclusion or as summary, okay?
Yeah.
Well, now let's do something, okay? There are, as you can see, multi-line graph, and now we're gonna do something. Uh, Look at this description of the line graph above. We have a description. It would not get a good score for task achievement. Why not? Okay, let's have a look at this graph. As you can see, rising cost of living, traffic, and lifestyle. Okay, and what is the instruction? We need to make notes on the main features of line graph. And question, the line graph below shows the main reasons people gave for moving away from a particular capital city to the countryside. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So why people moved, okay, to countryside. Well, now we have, okay, as you can see, we have a description. May I ask you to read and tell me maybe the weak points in this text that cause to lose a score and not to get a good score?
Yes. The diagram illustrates the main reasons people gave for moving away from a capital city to the countryside. The main reason was traffic. In 1990, 60,000 people left the city because of this, followed by 85,000 in 2000. 70,000 left in 2010, so it actually went down in those last 10 years. It was different for the other two reasons, which both started a lot lower than rising cost of of living and port kept going up between 1990 and 2010. Subsequently, port categories saw large increases, with traffic first going up a lot between 1990 and 2000, and then even more clearly after that. Lifestyle went up to 330,000 initially, then up again until 2010.
Okay, very. So tell me, what is the problem? What's wrong with this text? What's the problem, you think?
I
The
think
first one, the line graph illustrate the main reasons. Okay, let's have a look at question. The line graph below shows the main reasons people gave for moving. Is the introduction paraphrase of the question?
no.
Definitely no. The only word that has changed is illustrate, show and illustrate. It's not enough. So we don't have introduction here. Okay, after that, the main reason, so we expect to see a good overview, but what's important? What's happened that is important and caused not to get a good score?
Uh, I think that they don't have an overview.
Okay, let's check. The main reason was traffic. The main reason really was traffic? The main reason was traffic? Definitely no. Traffic is the second reason. The main reason is rising soul. We have misreport. So data is reported incorrectly. It's not correct. So by mistake. So as you said, there is no overview. Okay, and we have 3 paragraphs. So where is number 4? We don't have main body too.
No, I think we have.
So, of course, so we don't have main body too, and of course, so we can guess this text should be maybe fewer than 150 words because it consists of 3 paragraphs. The first one is 1 line, as you can see, and so it's about 5. If I want to score it, I give 5 to this answer. Well, now it's time to actually read another answer sample. The description from exercise 4 has been rewritten, but there is still room for improvement, so we can make it better. Okay, but it's okay. So let's read it and think about how it could be improved. Then match the teacher's comment. As you can see, there are A, B, C, D. There are teacher's comment that we can match them to 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's read and try to match the comments to different paragraphs. Well, let's get started.
Mm, the diagram sets out the main motivations people express for relocating to the countryside from the city in in the year 1990, 2000, and 2010. The overall trend for the period is of an increase in the numbers moving away from the city. According to the graph, the main reason for relocation was a rising cost of living. In 1990, 65,000 people left the city because of this. Then 85,000 left in 2000. Then 80,000 people moved away in 2010. So it actually increased by 20,000 initially between 1990 and 2000, before going down by 5,000 in those last 10 years between 2000 and 2010. This
Okay, now
was,
let's get, sorry, I interrupted you just before. I want to do this part one by one. So first, let's match. According to the graph, the main reason for relocation was the rising cost of living in 1990. 65,000 people left the city because of this. Then 85,000 left in 2000. Then 80,000 people moved away in 2010. So it's actually increased by 20,000 initially between 1990 and 2000. We're going down by 5,000 in those least 10 years between 2000 and 2010. Okay, well, which one? So which one, number one, can be matched to? What is the problem with this part? What can you see that you think, I don't know, it's better change it a bit? A or B or C or D?
I think B.
Excellent. This section is too mechanical. As you can see, look.
But what is mechanical?
Okay, let me say, when we say, of course, we have explanation. Avoid simply listing the changes to a single category and focus more on highlighting the key features and trends. Look, according to the graph, as you can see, this is our second part, okay, our second paragraph. As you can see, we have lots of numbers. That
Yeah.
makes it really complicated. It's even hard to read it
Yeah.
than understand. So it's better to make a good category instead of using and listing. Of course, we can see key features, important things. Of course, it's okay. But we can make them better, not only listing the numbers. It's something like writing, I don't know, following structure and give some numbers, some actually like statistics, okay? So it's not good. Of course, we can say it's not bad, but not good. Okay, now let's read line 2, the second one.
Um, this drop of 5,000 could have been because people generally had less money in 2010 than they did in 2000, so they couldn't afford to move. I think C.
You think, okay, you have included a conclusion this time. No, there is no conclusion here, but there is something that is really important. Just pay attention to this word.
Yeah.
This drop of 5,000 could have been because, yeah, you are giving something, you're guessing. Don't speculate, don't guess, don't give reason, don't say why, because we don't know why. Because people had less money, how you
Uh,
know it? And
yeah.
if you know, why are you giving your opinion? So don't speculate, don't guess. You shouldn't suggest reason. No reason, just facts. Okay? So it needs to be removed completely. Okay? So A, don't speculate. You shouldn't suggest reason for any change. Okay?
Yeah.
And 3,
It was a different story for traffic and lifestyle. Both had the same number of city livers at the start of the period. Subsequently, both categories saw increases with traffic first going up by a large number between 1990 and 2000, and, and then even more steeply after that. Lifestyle livers rose consistently over the whole period, going up to 3,000 initial, 30,000 initially, then up again to 2010.
Okay, well, which one?
I think just D. I think is suitable.
D.
Yeah.
The section make it points, yes, more clearly, but fails to include key data to demonstrate the points. Yeah, as you can see, of course, it was a different story for traffic and livestock. Both had the same number of city levers at the start of the period. It's good. It means it's not enough. It's good, but not enough. Okay, so it can be clear, but it needs more detail. So yes, we can consider it as D. And as you can see, the last one, would you read it, please?
So what does this all mean? For me, the answer is crystal clear. Overall, the graph shows that a huge number of people move away from the city to the countryside in a 20-year period. The final one is C.
Of course. So C, and as you can see, what is this? What does it all mean? What is this? Okay, different and mistake. Okay, it's we can say inappropriate tone. It's not a good actual language that is used. So what is this? What does it all mean? It's not good to use something informal in this type of text. And as you can see, there is no summary here. You know, for me, the answer is crystal is completely clear. Overall, no, it's not good. As you can see, again, it's not a good conclusion. Of course, as I told you, we don't have a conclusion the same as task 2, but again, we need to summarize main feature that we don't. So, yes. Okay. Any issues related to this part?
I, what is initially, teacher?
Initially, you notice you don't know?
I think yes, but maybe I forgot it.
Of course, you know, because we discussed it a lot. And when you say initially, it means at the beginning, firstly, instead of, do you remember? Instead of firstly, you can say, or beginning, at the beginning, you can say initially.
Yes. Okay.
It's a good word instead of firstly, initially, or at the beginning.
So,
Okay.
and
Yes.
and in the first one, if it's if this paragraph is too mechanical, how can we
Yeah.
write again?
Okay. You
Because,
want to write it again?
yes, because maybe I have written like this.
Okay, well, first of all, let's talk about mechanical text. What is mechanical? As I told you, uh, as you can see, there's some figures, there's some listed, actually, there is a list of figures. No, okay, if you want to write it, for example, again, for example, for the second one that we think, okay, this is mechanical, we want to remove it, okay? Uh, we can say that, let's have a look, okay? Okay, as you can see, the first one, rising cost of living, traffic, and now we want to talk about this tree. Okay, so as you can see, actually all three reasons have risen over the period. So we had, okay, but number of people moving away from the capital city is actually on the up. Okay, so it means increased. Okay, and let's talk about, for example, rising cost of living, the first one, okay? Rising cost of living, as we can see, rose the least over the whole between, as you can see, 2000 and 2010, as you can see here, 2000, because, Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a big change. I don't need to give numbers. So I'm writing again, for example. Okay, so I can say rising cost of living rose the least over the whole period. Okay, as you can see, but traffic, as you can see, traffic, the second one, saw the steepest, maybe the significant rise, the steepest rise, especially between 2000 and 2010. Yeah, we have a sharp increase between these actually 2 years. And we can say now about the other one, if I want to give you another thing, for example. So we talked about traffic, now we talked about rising cost of living. Okay, and I think in the terms of numbers, it was the main reason for moving to countryside across the whole period by maybe a significant margin. So I can consider it I'm talking about rising cost of living. And just this is not mechanical. As I told you in your overview, you don't need to give lots of details and put lots of numbers, figures, because it makes your text mechanical. So you need to discuss important points. So we have two important points here, as I can see. This one is not really important. I'm not going to discuss it now. It's not really important. As you can see, I have a steady change. So I can see that there is no, I don't know, big change in this. So I'm not going to talk about it in my overview. I have two. This one. First, I talk about this.
Yeah.
Of course, rising cost of living can be considered as the most important reason that people moved away from cities actually to countryside. Okay, but as you can see, we have a deepest decrease between 2000 and 2010. So we need to consider without figure, without number. We need to remove number. As I told you, numbers make your text mechanical. After that, I'm going to discuss about this one. Okay, we can talk about traffic that actually has not an increase, okay, especially between 2000 and 2010. Okay, just
Yeah.
this. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the better. First, remove, 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 remove. This, they are not good. You are giving details in your overview. Why are you doing this? Overview is overview, general view. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Well, if you need, I can write it for you. If no,
Yeah.
pass
I.
it.
Yes. It's okay.
It's okay. Well, okay, now let's find a summary, a conclusion for task, and give you which one can be the best one and why. Just read this tree.
Um. To sum up, people left the city for three main reasons, all of which rose significantly between 1990 and 2000. Traffic changed the most rapidly, lifestyle changed the least, and rising cost of living was the only reason that went down. Overall, the graph suggests the number of people relocating to the countryside rose across the period. Cost of living was the main reason for relocation by some distance. Despite a fall in numbers in the second half of the period, traffic saw the greatest overall increase, with lifestyle seeing a relatively slow but steady rise. All in all, the rising cost of living rose from 65,000 to 85,000 and then 80,000 and was the highest of all three reasons. Traffic had a bigger increase from 20,000 up to 60,000. while lifestyle changed the list 20,000, 30,000, 40,000.
Well, so first of all, let's remove this. I hate this, so let's remove this. It's not, again, mechanical, full of numbers. So, okay, between A and B, which one?
I think B.
Okay, and why B, of course? Well,
Because um, I is don't have any sentence that to conclude.
very good. So, as you can see about the second one, to sum up, people left the city for 3 reasons, all of which were significant. Okay, which significant. This is mistake is here. Okay, misreporting. This is not correct information. As
Yeah.
we know, no, all of them, all of which rose significantly between 19. No, of course, no. So, mistake, wrong information. About B, B is really good, can be considered as a good overview or, for example, maybe good summary because, as you can see, we have main point again, cost of living and traffic without numbers, and actually we can say yes, it could cover the whole main ideas completely, so we can consider it as the best. Okay, well, now, okay, look at these notes that another candidate made for this line graph, which helped them to write a more effective description. Complete the sentences with adjectives in box. Consistent, highest, joint, lowest, lowest, notable, overall, stable. Just guess.
I think the highest.
The highest, let me check. Rising cost of living, yeah, the highest, of course, very good. And number 2, traffic,
Traffic
greatest.
greatest. Uh,
So as you can see, rise, the whole number is 40,000. Most rise between 2000 and 2010, that is 25,000. Okay, so we need a word like a whole, like totally, like
the whole
what do you
overall
think about this word? Okay, traffic, greatest, overall rise 40,000. Most, okay, most what? Most maybe
most
considerable, considerable, something that you need to pay.
uh,
So
not notable.
notable, very good. Most notable, 25, because the whole and the overall rise is 40,000. So most notable, 25,000 between 2000 and 2010. And lifestyle, most lifestyle, as you know, this lifestyle, there is no big change. So
Stable.
very good, stable, and let me find a synonym. So when
Oh,
you say stable, it means consistent, without any change,
oh,
continues in the same way. So most consistent and stable Increase, only 20,000. Remainder,
Remain the lowest of
of
all.
course, the lowest of all three reasons. And traffic and lifestyle is something shared between two. So,
Oh, teacher, stable is an adjective.
of course,
Oh,
all of them are adjectives.
oh, I think that is noun.
Stable?
Yes.
Of course, no. Of course, no.
Yeah.
Stable is definitely an adjective. And if you want to know the noun for stable, okay, that is different. You want to say that, okay, you can use stable as a noun. It's okay, but here definitely is adjective.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because when we say, let me say something. Uh, let me say, you mean this word, yeah?
Yeah.
And you think, of course, this is a noun, and you know the meaning of this word. It's different from stable as an adjective. This is a building in which horses are kept.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, of course. So this is a noun. We have it, but here is persistent means. Here, consistent and something like stable. So just different. Okay. Of course, if you want to use a noun for stable, but you need to change it. Stability, if you want to use a noun, this is the noun for stable. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, keep going. Okay. Well, look at the following adverbs which describe the manner of change. First of all, which ones maybe, would be inappropriate? They're not really formal. Do you know?
Not really formal. I think that
So,
I
do
think
you
that
know?
a markedly.
Markedly, okay, yes. And do you know the meaning of it?
No.
Okay, so noticeable. Noticeably means markedly. Yes, but we don't use it. You know, we normally actually, it's not something that we use. Yes, you're right. And
And can we use it in the chart, teacher?
of course we can use, of course, but first of all, let's talk about inappropriate ones. Shockingly, amazingly, or surprisingly,
Yeah.
predictably, they are not good actually adverbs that we use, so we remove them. Abruptly means suddenly, you can use, it's okay. And markedly, okay, you can use it instead of noticeably, okay, so you can use. And inconsistently, as I told you, negative of consistently. So except, predictably, surprisingly, and amazingly, and shockingly, you can use the
Yeah.
rest of, yeah. So is there anyone that you don't know the meaning and you want to know?
I think abruptly.
Abruptly?
Er, erupt.
Abruptly, yes. As I told you, means if you want to give a synonym, you can use suddenly or unexpectedly. Yeah,
Can I have some technology?
of course.
The what is it?
So
Yeah.
let me explain something. How can you use them? It's not bad to know. how and where you use these adverbs. For example, let's start with abruptly. You know, significantly, noticeably, you know them. Just let's talk about some of them that you may not know. Abruptly, when you want to talk about the change,
Yeah.
that and the change indicated by the line that is fast and dramatic. So instead of fast and dramatic, you can say abruptly, because it's something like suddenly happened, unexpectedly. Okay, so
Yeah.
if actually the change indicated by the line is fast and dramatic, we use abruptly. Okay, and for markedly, the change indicated by the line is clearly visible, you know, especially when you have different lines, and in comparison with different lines, it's really visible. So we can say markedly. For example, the same thing that we have here. As you can see in this part, you know, we can see this decrease or this increase, something that we can see in comparison with different lines. This is visible. So we can say this change that showed by line is visible. So we can say markedly. And as you know, gradually, for example, it's slow, sharply,
Teacher,
when,
but
yes, yeah,
it's like what is an adjective of abruptly?
abrupt. Just remove when we have ly, okay, you only need to remove it.
Oh, yeah.
Abruptness, okay, so abrupt, yeah, it means sudden, unexpected,
Yeah.
okay. Ah. And sometimes, you know, that's really easy. You know, we have a like, you know, a formula structure. I mean, normally, sometimes if you have ly, we remove ly. Most of the time, we add ness, abruptness.
Yeah.
So you can make noun. Okay. Well, so we talked about abruptly, markedly, sharply, you know, again, fast and dramatic, like actually abruptly, sharply and abruptly, both of them. And noticeably, you know, when it's clearly visible, the change is clearly visible, you can use this. And progressively, when the change is slow and consistent. Slow, consistent, we say progressively. Okay? And
Yeah.
inconsistently, as I told you, negative form of consistently, when actually the line changes in a way that doesn't demonstrate an obvious pattern, something like this. For example, you can't follow the same pattern like this. You know, it's something like really different. Okay, you can't predict, so you can use inconsistently.
Yes. And
Okay,
sure.
yes.
Uh, and in this exercise, which one is inappropriate?
As I told you, amazingly, shockingly,
Yeah.
and surprisingly,
Okay.
predictably, they are inappropriate adjectives that we don't use while writing task one.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Okay, well, now let's do, okay, now, change the underlined words in the sentences into the form giving in brackets and then rewrite the sentences. So, for example, the category of lifestyle increase the most consistently and stably, okay? Now we're going to change it to adjective and noun. So we need to change it like the most consistent and stable increase was seen in the category of lifestyle, okay?
Yeah.
So for number 2, rose steadily. Again, you need to change rose and steadily. So
Rose.
first of all, we need to, rose is verb, so we need to change it to noun. Okay, let me write it here. Wow. So, rose is now verb, rise is noun. We know. Steadily, steady. Okay, now we need to change this sentence and use rise and steady. How can we change it?
There are a steady rise. Oh no,
Yeah.
I think there was a steady rise because now this is a past simple.
Yeah, you can say there was a steady rise in traffic as a reason for moving. But you can say another sentence. For example, you can say traffic experienced, traffic saw. Okay, so traffic experienced, okay, now you can say steady rise and the rest of your sentence. Okay, and
But,
number 3,
uh,
yes.
how can traffic experience?
Ah, so
And,
let me say something. For example, when you say went to events, went to, for example, points in line chart, or for example, the two action meet each other. How they meet each other? They are not people. What we say, meet, experience, so we use or see.
yes.
We can use this verb see. Okay, it doesn't mean traffic, it means it was a steady rise in traffic, but you can say traffic experienced a steady rise, so it's okay to use it, and it's really good to use it.
Yes.
Okay, well, number 3.
But then there was a marked increase between 2000 and 2010.
You need to, okay, adjective. Okay, now here we have verb and adverb. So increase, okay, verb is increase, so they're the same. And market, markedly. So, but then increased markedly. As you can see, this is past, so we need to change it, increase to increase. So, but then increased markedly between 2000 and 2010. The last one, the number of people moving to the countryside for lifestyle reason grew consistently. Adjective and noun. Grow, adjective and noun. Consistently, consistent. And grow, noun. Growth. So,
Um, the grow. No, no. But then um, there was a marked growth between 2000 and 2010.
no, number 4. Number
And
4, the number of people. Yeah. Yeah, you
uh,
can say there was. It's
the,
okay. There
yeah,
is okay.
I think there was a growth. No, no. There was a consistent growth of the number of people moving to the countryside for lifestyle reasons.
So yeah, there was a consistent growth in the number of people moving to the countryside for lifestyle reason. Or now you can use the verb see. The number of people moving to the countryside for lifestyle reason saw a consistent growth. Now here you can use see. Okay, let's say saw.
Yes.
Okay, wow. Okay, well, we have another part that is exam skills. Again, we have another assignment for home. This is writing task 1. And the line chart below shows the result of survey giving the reasons why people move to the capital city of a particular country. Okay, I want you to write it and send me at least 150 words for the next session. And this is your assignment for home. Of course, if you have any questions about it, you can ask me. And well, do you have any questions, any issues related to this writing section?
I think no.
Okay, well, now let's keep going. So we have 15 minutes, so let's talk about, let me ask you some questions, okay? Uh, there are actually some places to visit, so think of city you would like to spend some time in. And tell me if you'd prefer to visit a museum or stroll through the park. Stroll through means take a walk.
Drawn through.
Stroll through means take a walk. Let me change the color. Okay.
Drawn through.
Yeah.
Teacher, take a walk. Is it the same meaning with have a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But we normally take a walk. We don't have a walk. It's better to say take a walk. Why say have a walk?
Because I remember this afternoon in the exam is had a sentence like uh
Why?
I don't remember. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay.
So, so you don't remember the question, or you don't remember, you know.
I just remember that have a walk with my dog. Yeah. This is
Okay. Okay. So we normally say actually take a walk is a synonym to have a walk. So it's okay to use it. Actually, the sentence grammatically is correct. Say have a walk or take a walk. So, or have a shower, have a lunch, take a shower. So you can say, or to go for a walk, you know, if you want to say.
yes.
But walking is, okay, okay, well. So
I,
which one? Museum or taking a walk in the park?
it's now I need to answer like in the speaking test or just dialogue.
No, 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 no. Just make your answer. You. This is not a speaking part, so you don't need to force yourself to
Right.
actually follow the rules of speaking. So it's okay. Just answer.
I think I will choose a strong through the park.
Yeah, it's true, true. Good. And why? Can you tell me why? Why don't you prefer to visit the museum?
I think that it's a waste. It's a way to waste your time when visit to a museum because
Oh. So just when, okay. Visiting, when visiting, do you know after when? Now you need to use durand when visiting a museum. Okay, so don't need to say visit to a museum again. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's not wasting time. You can get familiar with culture, with art. Why?
But
Thank you. That was good.
because
Yeah.
I don't find the art on maybe the picture interesting.
course. You know, people have different ideas, but you know, museum is a place for culture, maybe tradition, maybe.
But
But that was really good.
yeah, but
It's
you have to pay for the price of ticket, but just
of
go
course.
through the museum and watch something
Yeah.
maybe not necessary.
Okay. Okay, so reasonable answer, but you know, of course you pay for it, but you see something that you know you can actually get familiar with, maybe the people, some prehistoric events, things, objects. Okay, so that it can be, if you think about it, that can be really amazing. Of course, I don't want to change your mind because your
Yeah,
answer was really good, but you know, it can be, but of course, if you are into, you know, some people don't like it. For example, some people don't like to go to an art gallery. So why? Why do they need to go when they don't like? So I do agree with you. So taking walk is really good.
yeah.
Okay. Now, a city tour or sport events, which one?
Of course, maybe. I think the sports event because I haven't taken part in this event before.
Yeah, good. And an evening at a restaurant or at the theater?
I think that it will depends on my mood.
It depends on. So it will know. It depends is okay. It depends on your mood. Yeah. So both of them.
Yes.
Okay. And the next one, say.
Um, but what is backstreet teacher?
Okay. There are some, for example, in towns, in cities, there are some narrow streets, okay,
Yeah.
that there are no people, maybe there is no, you can see there is no crowd, I can say. We can consider them as empty places that you can take a walk. You know, some, I don't know, not crowded, empty, not really busy, narrow streets, and say back streets. Or, you know, wandering around the shops. I don't know too.
I think that maybe it's
Both of them can be considered as walking
yeah,
without any clear purpose. Say, you can, of course, you can walk and
yeah.
on street without any purpose, or I don't know, just see some shops. So which one?
I think that I will choose to explore the back streets.
Yeah, of course. Maybe some different places, different locations. Of course, you may find some, I don't know. For example, you may see some graffitis. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
of course. Well, and seeing the city by day or at night, which one?
I think that um, night when the city turn to night, it can like express all the magnificence and maybe
Oh,
yes, that's what
yeah,
I like to see of the city.
yeah. So at night, of course. I think especially if you can see nightlife. So if you, I don't know, if you live in a hustle and bustle of city, yeah, it could be really, really interesting and really, I don't know, good experience to, I don't know, see the city and take a tour in the city at night when
But
everywhere is shiny, bright. Yeah.
can you repeat the name of the city? Is
I didn't say, just I said hustle and bustle of city.
yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Because any cities. Okay, and the last part. Okay, so if you're tired, I can skip this part, but if you're not tired, we can keep going and complete part two as the last section of this session. So it's your choice. If you feel tired, I can skip this part for the next session, and if no, we can keep going because I know that you had a really hard day. So I'm not gonna, I don't know, make you bored and tired. So if you need to rest, I can skip this part for the next session. It's your choice.
I think yes, we can keep it for the next lesson.
Of course, very good. Okay, so that's it. Just, don't forget about doing your assignments at home and send your answers anytime, whenever that you have time.
And mm,
Thank you. Yes.
can you send it to Skype, please? Because I don't have
Uh,
the.
of course. I thought I sent you. Let me check. I didn't send. Really? Okay, of course. I will send the book on Skype so that you can check it and download. Okay, thank you so much. It was really good time with you. Have a great time, great week, and see you
Uh,
next session.
Goodbye, teacher. Have a nice.
Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.